No, you did not accidentally press on my spinny chair animation. Hello, my gamers, animators, and procrastinators. Welcome back to my channel, where today we are doing something a little bit different, because when do I not post something that's very, very different on this channel? This video, we are going to be doing a sketchbook tour of my 2020 sketchbook, featuring my face. Woo! Not just the animations anymore, baby! So without further ado, let's go check out that said sketchbook. Woo. I'm gonna get sick.
Real quick disclaimer before we get started, this sketchbook does contain nude figures, which is an essential study for artists. According to YouTube, this is okay because it is for educational purposes. Boom. So I've already technically done a tour for this particular sketchbook, but because it was for a college application, I wasn't allowed to talk or comment or anything like that during the video. I mean, you know, fair enough, because they would clearly be very biased if they heard my gorgeous voice. But if you want to see this same exact sketchbook tour without the talking and the spinny chair propaganda, that's up on my Instagram. Also, for anyone wondering, this is a Strathmore mixed media soft cover sketchbook. I really love this sketchbook because it lays completely flat and the pages are really thick, which, you know, is great for mixed media, obviously. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and open this bad boy up. Alright, so the very first page we have right here, it's mainly filled up with drawings of my dog, and they're very messy and sort of unfinished, to be honest, because yes, she loves to sleep, but she moves a lot. So yeah, lots and lots of drawings of my dog that are very messy. And then I did a little doodle of a picture. Here, I actually have the picture. This is me when I was a baby, and I just felt like drawing this because it's up on my it's up on one of my cork boards, and I was just like, why not? Look how cute. She's got a rock in a sippy cup. I was very proud of collecting rocks when I was a kid. Yeah, that's the very first page. This one actually took me quite a while. It doesn't look very detailed, but holy cow, drawing blankets and pillows and stuff like that. It literally took me half an hour to draw my sweatpants, and my feet were very numb by the time I was done with this drawing. Next up, we have lots and lots of drawings of my little sister. Because of COVID and all that sort of stuff, it's been really hard to find, like, models and stuff like that. So I've pretty much just been like, whenever my sister is hanging out, I'm like, hey, can you stand still for a little bit so I can draw you? And she's like, yeah, sure, why not? I do wonder how many times I've drawn her in this sketchbook. I know I've drawn her a lot, but yeah, so, and also, these are all drawn straight to pens, so I would look at her and I would just go straight with pen freehand. So that's also why a lot of these are super duper messy. Then on the next page, I have this dance study I did. This is one of my favorite things to do, honestly. I'll find a video of someone dancing and I'll just like scrub through it really slowly and pick out dance moves, and I just love the looks of these. It's sort of an essential for animation students, but it's so much fun just to do for fun. I love it. Next up, this is just this one's kind of boring. It's just a page full of foxes, but yes. Oh yes, look at the majesty. Yes, he's licking his own nose, but it's still majestic. Moving on from the page full of foxes. Okay, this is just a whole bunch of environmental drawings. We went on a road trip to this place called Ghent in Belgium. This is a drawing of my dad driving us there. Pretty much where we just sat out on the side of the road and we drew people. I drew people walking around, and unfortunately I've gotten very good at drawing people wearing masks. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really cold that day, but it was really fun because we just sort of sat around and ate fries and people watched. It was really great. So this was a page full of figure drawings, and it's pretty messy. You can sort of tell. I'll be honest, I get bored doing figure drawings really easy, so I wanted to incorporate some more mixed media. And the thing is, I'm not really great at mixed media, so This is why it looks so crazy. But, yeah, I was just trying to make it a little more interesting. I'm most comfortable using pen, you know? I love drawing with pen, but I'm not great painting, as you can probably tell. So that's sort of what I was going for on this page, was just getting a little more outside my comfort zone than I was usually used to. And I'm not sure if it didn't really turn out great, but, you know, it was good to sort of get outside my comfort zone, I think. So, and then this page, this one is just, I just wanted to draw myself wearing outfits. These are just some of my favorite outfits, and some of you might recognize this as my Instagram profile. Now, and I have had people ask me, what kind of markers do I use for this sort of stuff? Well, I'll tell you what kind of markers I use. Boom. Crayola, baby. Good artists use Crayola markers. Don't spend hundreds of dollars on super expensive markers. Crayola will do you just fine. And that's also why my my skin in these are very, very, very orange. As you can tell, I'm pale as heck. I'm not actually that tan. But, you know, Crayola markers will sort of do that to you. Aside from that, you know, they look great. But if you see me using markers anywhere else in this sketchbook, they are Crayola markers. They are not hundreds of dollars worth of markers. This one's kind of a boring page. I was just drawing, see, this is my drafting table, which we are currently on here. Let me, yeah, that's just a drawing of my drafting table setup. And then this is just outside in my yard, drawing the cars. I'm so bad at drawing cars. But, yeah, this was just sort of a quick study thing I did. It's not necessarily my favorite, and I kind of wish I'd colored it, but I'm not going to change it now. This was a drawing I did on the terrible, terrible bus system here in Brussels. Oh my gosh, the buses are the worst. Man, the schedules are just terrible. Like, the buses themselves are fine, but the schedules, maybe we're just dumb, but we can never figure them out. They're always late. They're always going to the wrong things. I don't know what the deal is, but when we get lost, I have lots and lots of time to draw. So yeah, that's just sort of what this was. Oh, my camera totally just fell. But yeah, there's not really that much to say about this particular page. I do put a lot of notes in my sketchbook too, just because they fill space, and sometimes you want to remember what was happening when you drew a particular thing. This was a film study I did for Back to the Future. These are sort of just an exercise you do in animation and film study and stuff. It's very, very rough, but I was having a really hard time drawing a nighttime scene because I wanted to put the values in there, and it's very, very rough. But, you know, it sort of gets the composition point across. Plus, I freaking love the way I drew Einstein. Like, he's so derpy looking. Look at him. Blah. He's just chilling, man. He's just vibing. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Oh boy, another page full of my little sister. So she really loves vintage clothing, and she just collects vintage clothing in her wardrobe. She sort of hoards it, but she does wear it around. She was wearing around this like corset thing around the house the other day, and I'm like, yo, I gotta draw you like that. So she sat still for a couple of drawings. Most of them, some of them were just straight to pen. Well, they were all straight to pen, but, you know, just normal drawing. And then these ones were contour drawings, which means I'm not allowed to pick up the pen during the drawing. So this is all just one continuous line. That's why it looks so weird. I love the result of it because it's like, so regal, such beauty. And then, she's beautiful. My drawings don't do her justice. Moving on. Ooh boy, it's an edgy page. Look at all those edgy skulls. Whoa. I did this page during a head construction class that I was doing online, and I was just like, this is the most boring thing ever. Like, it's necessary, but it was so boring, you know, like planes of the face and stuff like that, and learning skulls stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it look a little more, my studies look a little bit more interesting. So that's sort of what I was attempting to do with these skull studies here. And I took the knowledge from these studies and made an illustration, which, Again, edgy, whoa, but I kind of like how it turned out, even though that's not my normal drawing style. So something I do a lot in my sketchbook, especially since I was stuck at home during this entire sketchbook process, is that I will just find members of my family sitting around the house and I'll just draw them, because they're easy models, especially when they're looking at computer screens and stuff like that. They just sit still. There's another drawing of my little sister. She's everywhere, my mom. And then, of course, shoes. We, as a family, throw our shoes all over the place. It's a mess. It's a problem. But it makes really good drawing subjects. And then, of course, got my little notes again. Okay, this is actually one of my favorite pages in the sketchbook. We were going downtown for a Christmas market sort of thing. I don't remember what specifically it was, but we were down in the metro system and there was this trio of saxophone players performing, and I was like, they were so good. They were actually so good, and we just sat around for maybe like 10 minutes just listening to them play. I only drew the one guy in different positions for it, but yeah, look at him in his cool sunglasses, his cool saxophone. It's a very messy page, but it's one of my favorites. And then my sister and I started dancing to the saxophone music during it. I actually had a video recorded of us, and I sort of just scrubbed through and I picked out some random moves, and I did really, really quick, messy gestures of it. Anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. This page is kind of boring. Studies of silhouettes are very, very important in animation and just art and design in general. But, yeah, they're boring. There's nothing much to say about this. Moving on. I really like this page also because this was sort of at a point in my sketchbook where I was looking at all my other previous art and I'm like, a lot of this is really, ignoring some of them, a lot of this is really, really clean. Like, it looks very stiff. I'm not super happy with how clean and stiff everything is looking in my sketchbook. So I wanted to, once again, just go straight to pen, do some contour drawings. I looked up some African tribe photos, and I just threw whatever I felt like on the page. I was getting really tired of being concerned about what exactly would go on the page, so I just drew whatever I felt like. I did it in any kind of medium I felt like, which at the time was pen, because pen is my comfort zone. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun to do, and I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. Oh boy, it's a concept page. So this was a story I came up with while over the summer I was trying to learn how to code, because I really wanted to learn how to code for video games, because I was getting really, really into the process of how they were made. And so this was sort of the story I wanted to tell through the video games. It's a little hard to explain, but here were the characters you would have been able to choose from during the game, and then some sort of concept mock-up landscapes that I would have tried to draw backgrounds for and all that sort of stuff. And then I never went through with it because I realized I'm terrible at coding. I'm very frustrated. I just kind of want to draw the art for this, you know? So maybe someday I'll make this into a reality, but meh. I'd rather just draw them for now. This one was another observational day out. My sister and I went to the mall to shop for Christmas presents, I think it was. Yeah, and you can sort of see that the page is not finished because I was sort of just standing off to the side, drawing, you know, minding my own business, watching people walk by and stand in line, and then one of the security guys comes up. I can't understand what he's saying, and I'm like, he's yelling at me. I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? And so he switches to English, and he's like, yo, you can't be loitering. And I'm like, I'm not loitering, I'm just drawing, please. But essentially, we were sort of kicked out of that section of the mall, so this page is not finished, unfortunately. But there's a lot of blue going on, so that sort of saves it. Here's another figure drawing study. This one full of dudes. Here's another instance where I did the contour technique where I don't pick up the pen. That's why it's so messy looking. But I'll be honest, and the proportions are super duper wonky. You know, they're not correct in any way, shape, or form. But they turn out really fun looking, I'll be honest. And I did the same thing for this next one. For the most of it. This one was sort of an experiment I was doing, once again trying to get out of my comfort zone, because I found someone who did figure drawing, but it was sort of an impressionism style, and I'm like, oh, yo, that's so cool! But I tried to do it, and it clearly did not turn out how I was hoping, so I just went over top of it with pen again, because, like I said, pen is my comfort zone. And this one's just a page full of hands, because hand studies are important. Hands are hard to draw. They are the bane of my drawing existence. The only thing that can match up with them are drawing like dog paws. Like, dog paws are so hard to draw. I just can't. I'll be honest, I would rather draw hands than dog paws, but whatever. Once again, using all my Crayola markers, because Crayola markers are the best markers. Moving on. Okay, this one was also kind of a fun page to do. This one was another one where I was like, I've done a lot of studies in this sketchbook. I'm gonna do some more concept work, some more fun stuff. So, I mean, these ones are sort of studies, but then I sort of broke out of those studies, made them a little more interesting. This one was a drawing I did based off of some water photography I saw. I was looking at this water photography, I'm like, oh my gosh, those smears are so cool. So I was trying to figure out, could I replicate that sort of effect in my sketchbook? And I think it sort of translates. It's a little weird, it's a little hard to tell, but yeah. And then over here, this is a piece of concept art I did, concept art, character designs, whatever you want to call it, when I was designing my sister and I, my Minecraft skins. I was like, you know what, I don't just want to go straight in there and, do whatever. I actually want to draw some concept art for what these skins will look like. And, they don't really translate perfectly, but whatever. This is sort of the idea behind our skins on our Minecraft series that we're doing over on Twitch. So, yeah. And then here's some concepts for what the procrastination flag would look like. They're sort of boring. I'm terrible at simple designs, so, whatever. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, actually, I lied. This is one of my favorite pages, because this is a self-portrait, this is me. This is what I look like. Got my big dorky glasses there. I was drawing myself in the mirror. But then over here, I know this just looks like a page full of scribbles, but this was actually a blind contour page that I did, which means not only was I not allowed to pick up the pen, I was not allowed to look at the paper while I was drawing, which as you can imagine is a bit of a challenge. So most of this is an attempted drawing at my bathroom, so it's kind of hard to tell. Like, that might be a shampoo bottle, and this could be a, oh wait, I think this is a faucet? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But on top of that, I decided to do some portraits sort of like this, also blind contour, and this is why this is one of my favorite pages, because it makes me laugh every time I look at it. Because, we got this one, you can sort of tell it's a human. It's not the prettiest human, but you can sort of tell it's a human. Same with this one, the eyes are a little out of place. But then you got this one, it's just like, every time I look at this drawing, I can't. I just can't. I can't. The nose is all the way up here and the lips are down here. It's just... Anyway, that's why this is one of my favorite pages, for that drawing alone. Then here's some more studies I did of horses. Now, I'm very, very uncomfortable drawing any animals of any kind, especially horses and stuff like that. Like dogs and cats, I can get along with them. I definitely can. But horses, oof, they are hard to draw. So I decided, and I wanted to draw a centaur character, and I'm like, I don't actually know how to draw a horse, so I need to figure out how to draw a horse before I draw my centaur character. So yeah, this was just sort of a study, trying to figure it out. I did the bone structure underneath because that's supposed to help quite a bit. Drawing out the bones underneath the form, some more movement, contour drawings, and yeah, that's pretty much all this is. Moving on from this one, here is that said Centaur character that I was talking about. Woo! I don't know, I just really wanted to see if I could draw a centaur and then do the bones that would actually be a centaur. Because, you know, you can't study what a centaur would look like, bone structure wise. So I was like, you know what if I took the study, like I studied what the bones would actually look like, then what would happen if I combined it with a human skeleton? So I was like, that would be sort of a fun challenge. And then over here, this was going to be a storyboard that I was going to do featuring the centaurs, but then I realized I don't actually have a story. Like, I don't have anything to do, and I didn't want to. I had already drawn in all the boxes for the storyboard, so I was like, plants! We're gonna do some plants on top of this, that'll fix it! Here is another environment people study, hanging out in the metro once again, because the metro is a really easy place to just find people on their phones, drawing, waiting for the train, you know. Like I said, lots of masks, getting really good at drawing those masks. Funny story about this one, I was sort of drawn for half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I didn't notice that my phone had slipped out of my pocket during this. So I lost my phone in the metro while drawing this particular page. This page doesn't have a lot of fond memories, to be honest. We're gonna move on. Okay, so this is another really weird page, to be honest. I had sort of this character idea that I wanted to get out on this page. It's a little weird of a concept to explain, but I was sort of inspired by have you guys seen the trailer for the movie Free Guy? I don't think it's come out yet, but pretty much it's like video game worlds. I love those sort of stories. Those are fun. I love it when characters are living in a video game world. But I was thinking, you know what? We've never had like a character stuck in a video game who are like Twitch streamers, right? So imagine like you have all your characters living in a video game and world, and then there's this one Twitch streamer who is like constantly has voices in his head or whatever, because, you know, chat is going on and talking. And then, yeah, so I sort of wanted to flesh out what that would look like. The actual design of him was very inspired by Stand Still, Stay Silent, which is a graphic novel, which is amazing, and I freaking love it. So yeah, go read that if you haven't already. Then here's some more blind contour hands, which are freaky looking, but they're fun. Blind contour hands are one of my favorite things to draw ever. And then some normal contour drawings of my cat, who does not like to stay still either. That's why they're so rough and messy, and he does not have a tail. He's a cutie like that. Moving on. This is just sort of I don't know, another study page, some figure drawings, did some more of those dance movements because I freaking love dance studies. They're really fun, and they just sort of turn out kind of cool on the page. Once again, going straight to pen with these ones. Not this one, this one's pencil, but yeah, that's why it's very rough looking. Another observational drawing. This one was sort of didn't turn out great because I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go out on the bus, I'm gonna go find some people to draw because deadlines, I had to finish the sketchbook within a certain amount of time. So, but of course the day I go out is when it's straight up storming, it's blistery, it's raining, and I was trying to find places to draw which were sheltered, and so yeah, this page just did not turn out great at all. That's okay. Not every page can be perfect. Now, I know I said like 15 million times something's my favorite page, but this actually might be my favorite page because, I don't know, this was another one where I was like, I'm gonna get a little bit outside my comfort zone, and this page was another one that is definitely one of my favorites. I got a little bit outside my comfort zone with this one also, but, okay, so the story behind this one is I had been working on this sketchbook non-stop for like maybe a month or something like that because I was really far behind my schedule, and there was like a million different things I wanted to do. I wanted to do everything but draw, but I had to draw. I had to get things done by a certain deadline. So aside from the gouache faces I have going on here, I filled up an entire page just full of the things I wanted to do but couldn't. So like, I got my skateboard down there, my gaming PC, I've got random YouTubers that I was watching scattered throughout it. I wanted to learn how to play the bass, but I just couldn't put in the time because, like I said, deadlines. But yeah, it's just full of things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't because I procrastinate all the time. And then, yeah, just some random doodles over here. This one was just something, this was something I just sort of drew while my family was home for Christmas. So we got my dad, my mom, once again my little sister, she's playing Overwatch on my computer instead of her own computer. I don't know why she was playing on mine, but you know, that's fine. But yeah, so I just, aside from this one, this is just a drawing of my living room. We got the stockings up here, and we were trying to put together a giant puzzle, and not all the puzzle pieces are drawn in because I didn't want to be here for 5 hours drawing puzzle pieces. Oh boy, and it's the final page. It's the very last page. Remember that one page where I said I wanted to do everything but draw? This was another sort of wistful page that I did where it was like, I want to learn how to play the bass so badly. I had just bought a bass. I just bought a bass. I had paid for lessons. I was ready to go, but I couldn't play the bass until I finished the sketchbook. So this was my very last, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play my bass. It was sort of a salty page, but I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. So, and that is it. That is my sketchbook. Completely filled. Okay, I normally don't finish sketchbooks. So this is like the very first sketchbook I've actually finished in maybe years. You know, it's actually been forever since I've properly finished a sketchbook. So yeah. So thank you so much for joining me on my sketchbook tour and enduring my talking and sort of weird commentary, the spinny chair propaganda and all that. But if you did enjoy the talking, if you did enjoy the spinny chair propaganda, then consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that YouTuber jazz, all that, to see what projects I'm working on next. But thank you so much for joining me, my nation of procrastinators, and I will see you next time. Okay, not quite. Too fast. That didn't quite work. Hi, baby, what's up? Yeah.